Let me show you another extension of MindStudio's feature that I described recently yesterday in my video, which is, I'm going to talk about today, MCP, Model Context Protocol. Now, in MindStudio, this is an extension of a feature that I described yesterday, which is package workflow. MCP is an extension of package workflow in MindStudio. You have to package your workflow for preparation in a MCP and in MindStudio's MCP server. So let me take a step back and first explain very briefly on what is MCP. MCP is an open standard developed by Anthropic that lets AI models connect to external tools and data sources, enabling real-time, secure, and standardized interactions for enhanced automation and reasoning. So this has been adopted widely across different companies, AI model providers, including MindStudio, where MindStudio has an MCP server built in. What does that mean? That means that external tools can call your MCP server in your workspace instance and call a workflow in an agent. It would process that data as designed in your workflow and send that response back to the tool that made that call. So I'm going to demonstrate how that is done using Anthropic Claude Desktop. This is here I have Anthropic Claude Desktop. I only have a free Anthropic Claude plan, and that's completely fine to do when you have Claude Desktop installed. So before I go too far into that, let me briefly recap about package workflow. Like I said, I did a video about this yesterday. And you need to set up your workflow using the package workflow setting. Notice here I have this agent. This agent is a video generator, and it uses a VO3 model to generate a video. Notice I have two different workflows here. One is for user input. Here I would enter a prompt that I want to generate a video. It generates that video based on that prompt and then displays it to me. This is only for using user input directly within MindStudio. Now, here I have another workflow that is using MCP. And in this regard, it is set to package workflow. I have it set to the generate category. And like I said yesterday in yesterday's video, if I come over to all blocks, this is the generate category right here. And it would display in this section. Well, actually not for MCP, only if it was a package workflow. And set to active, and then this is a description of it. Now notice here I have this prompt here, video prompt. Like I mentioned yesterday in my video about package workflow, that this is the input for this block, so to speak, but in this particular case for MCP, when the external tool, in this case Claude Desktop, calls this workflow, this is the prompt that triggers and contains the data, or the video prompt like I showed here. This is the user input. In this case, this is the actual prompt that is being requested by Claude Desktop, calling my MCP server, and then it generates the video, and then it sends it back to Claude Desktop using this output JSON. This is the key name variable, and then this is the URL for that video, and then sends it back to Claude Desktop. Now, how do I configure this for my MCP server? What I do is I come over here and now that I have this, I come over here to my MCP server and add the agent ID. So let me come back over here to my agent ID, copy this, and then I come to my MCP server, and let me show you where that is specifically. You come to the top level of your MindStudio workspace. Notice here how there is a setting here, MCP server. You select that, and we'll be doing something with this connection details in a moment. You paste your agent ID here and add it. Now, and then you wait like a few minutes for it to propagate. And notice here I have two workflows set up. This video generator that I just showed you, and one that does an image transformation. Now that I have this set up on my MCP server, now I need to tell the external tool how to call that my MCP server. What I do is I copy this into my clipboard, and this is essentially the protocol to call my MCP server. Come to Claude Desktop, and this configuration that I'm about ready to show you will vary slightly depending on the tool that is making the call to your MCP server. But in this particular case with Claude, you come over here to Claude Settings, come to Developer, and then you click on Edit Configuration. And this is the important part, and this will be something that will be fairly common among any different tools. You open this, and now I have this file open for me to paste this server setting to call my MCP server. So when this external tool makes a call, it recognizes this data as a proper protocol. It's calling this particular MCP workspace, and then has my bearer token here. And then it knows that when it makes this call, it will access whatever server, whatever workflows are configured for that server that I have here. In this case, these two items. Then, let me come back over here. Notice here I've already configured this, and notice how it is indicating that this is running in my Claude Desktop instance. So let me show you how this would work. Let me come back over here and start a new chat. And here, let me show you my search tools. Here I have MindStudio set up. And if I click over here, notice here I have these two workflows already configured, ready to go. And this is enabled because I've already done this configuration in Claude Desktop. So now let me do a search and say, make me a video of cats dancing. And now it is going to call, notice how it's calling to generate VO3 video workflow. And in the background, it has actually sent that prompt to the start block, recognized it, and now it is creating that video. Takes a little bit of time. Then when it finishes that video, in the end block, it sends it back to the JSON output and returns it back to the same tool that made the call, in this case, Claude Desktop. And then it will display here once it finishes generating. And while I'm waiting for this to generate, we can come over here and look at Debugger, and we could see it running right now. You can see here, this is the prompt that I requested. Cats dancing together, moving, rhythmically, giggling playfully. That's the actual prompt that was generated. And now it has sent that response back to Claude Desktop. And here it is, dancing cats. Let's go see what this video looks like. And isn't that cute? They're very lovey-dovey cats. So this is how you can use Claude Desktop or MCP in general to call MindStudio workflows in your workspace. And one thing that's kind of interesting about this particular use case is that Anthropic does not have a video generation tool like OpenAI does. So I could be, if I was doing my daily work or doing a lot of work in Claude Desktop, and I needed to do video generation or image generation, I can make a call and just using natural language in the chat interface, make me a video or make me an image, and then it calls my workflow designed as I've intended it in MindStudio, and then returns the output back here. So I hope that this video was kind of fast, but I hope that this video helps inspire you to explore using MCP Server in MindStudio in your workspace. Thank you for watching.